Jacob Stimmel, and I'm from Bulls Gap, Tennessee. And I was looking for a house, and Jason, when I talked to him, it seemed like he knew a lot about what he was talking about, and he was a big help with anything I ever needed. It was my first time buying a house, so I didn't know what I was getting into. It was a good experience. I closed actually a week earlier than planned. Anytime I needed help with anything or had any questions, he'd answer right away and help me learn a lot too. I would gladly recommend anybody. Y'all are a big help, and if I ever go to buy a house again, I'd go with y'all again. My name is Jacob Stimmel, and I got into my first home with the team at SaveItConrad.com.
NMLS number 212, non-equal housing lender. SaveWithConrad.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hanging in there, Conrad. How you doing?
Better than I deserve. Excited to be with you here today because it means we're going to be watching some old wrestling. And man, do we have a fun find for you, Tony? I know that you don't spend a lot of free time on YouTube, but a lot of us wrestling junkies, we do. And WWE recently started a WWE Vault account, and well, maybe they started it a while ago, but they started paying it some attention recently. And one of their recent postings is a little hidden gem from way back in your stomping days. How about WCW in Manchester from 1993? This show was filmed, Tony, and they uploaded it. It went down on March 13th, 1993. So I thought, hey, man, let's take a look. Let's watch. So it is linked in the description below, so you can actually watch along with us. It's also on YouTube. Or I know that Tony loves when I give all the particulars. So let me tell you right now, it's at https://youtu.be/2mykc capital Q lowercase h capital M. I think that's an I, C capital M question mark SI equals XE70, not 0, but O. 2 capital M, capital J, capital E, lowercase o, Q, capital STW, capital G, 1Q. Should I run through that again, Tony, or should I just reference?
No, the words, I think that's an. Is that in there too?
Try it both ways, with and without. Should I start at the beginning again?
No, you should not.
Okay, HTTP. We are joined, of course, by the hostess with the mostest. Wait, can I say that? The Dadalorian himself, on his way to see the Sickos in Philadelphia this weekend, because AEW Dynasty is going to be the first ever AEW pay-per-view in Philadelphia. Tickets are on sale now at AEWTIX.com, and I am pumped. I'm pumped to see the Death Riders and Rated FTR. A lot of story in this one. I'm pumped to see the three-way dream match that now is going to come to fruition. Kenny Omega, Ricochet, and Speedball Bailey. How about the TNT match with no outside interference and no time limit? We're talking Daniel Garcia versus Adam Cole, a match that I know Tony Schiavone is going to be hyped for. It's the AEW Women's Championship with timeless Tony Storm taking on Megan Bayne. And how about for the world title? This is going to be something that, put the kids to bed early, if I had to guess. In Philadelphia for the Sickos, by the Sickos, the King Sicko himself, Jon Moxley, is going to be defending his AEW world title against Swerve Strickland. This has got something for everybody, Tony. If you like women's wrestling, if you like hardcore wrestling, if you like, big stars and six-man tags, you want some badass females, there's something for everybody here on this one.
Yeah, this is going to be a good night for AEW, I do think. The crowd should be hot. Great fans in Philadelphia, as you know. Fans at, I've been going to Philadelphia for wrestling shows for quite a while. And the old Philadelphia Civic Center, of course, we've worked the old Spectrum back in the hot time of WCW. And now we've been running the Aaliyah Core Center, which is at Temple. And it's a great venue for us. And I'm really, really looking forward to this card. We always seem to pull out the stops, as the old cliche goes, on good matches. So I do expect we're going to have some great matches as well.
It's going to be fantastic. I, for one, am really looking forward to this. A really good friend of the show, I probably shouldn't say their name here on the show, but he said that, he used to watch wrestling week in, week out, every time it was on with his son. But then as time went on, kid moves out. They're not spending as much time together, but they don't miss an AEW pay-per-view together. And the kid, a young man now doing the college thing and all that, maybe he doesn't have time to watch on a regular basis, but there's no chance he's going to miss an AEW pay-per-view. And I feel like that's a great testament to you guys. Like in an era where pay-per-view and wrestling is no longer a priority for WWE, it feels like AEW reigns supreme when it comes to wrestling pay-per-view. They always over-deliver, Tony. And I have no doubt that this first effort in Philadelphia, and then I know a lot of people listening to this probably don't know this, but I think I have this right. Tony Khan grew up just going to shows in the Illinois area, like around where he grew up. But his first time to venture out to see pro wrestling was in Philadelphia. So this is a place that Tony has loved watching wrestling from since he was just a fan. And now that he's bringing an AEW pay-per-view there, I feel like this is going to check every box, Tony.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very good. And it's going to be, I really enjoy doing pay-per-views. It goes back to what my world is, which is announcing. It goes back to working not only with Excalibur, who is tremendous, and Taz, who is as entertaining as anyone you'll find on the mic. And then, of course, Nigel McGuinness, who he and Taz rotate in and out, or me and Taz, or I don't know how they do it. They come up with a plan, but I like the rotation that we do. And I probably need to say something about Nigel McGuinness, who I guess was named Announcer of the Year by the PW Pro Wrestling. Was it Dave Meltzer?
I don't know what you're congratulating right now, Tony. The floor is yours.
Okay. So anyway, that's it. And let's roll.
Well, all right, boys and girls, without further ado.
Are we going to watch? Hey, we're going to watch this whole fucking thing.
Well, you tell me where you want to start, Tony, and we'll do that.
How long is it?
It's 2 hours and 17 minutes and 56 seconds.
Let's go to the last 17 minutes.
All right. So we're the 2
no,
hour.
I'm kidding you, son of a bitch. Slow down here.
Well, hang on now.
Slow the fuck down. Okay?
You're the one who said, let's watch the shit, not me. Why? Okay. How did this become a me thing?
Okay. Yeah, just slow the fuck down. I've got a great place to start. You ready? Dave, is he still with us?
No, yeah, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm just waiting on you to tell me what you want me to do. You want me to slow down? Slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down.
Slow down. Okay.
Slow down.
Slow down. All right. So, well, I was going to say, man, we got a Rick Rude match that we're going to watch. We're going to begin things, but I believe he's facing Van Hammer, which means God damn. Now we're not able to watch this, are we? We're not able to.
There's no audio, Tony.
There's no audio at all.
There's no commentary.
There's not even the crowd going.
Yeah, we can do that. If we don't want to monetize the video, we can play all the audio we want.
Okay. All right. So they download this complete silent track.
Yeah. So there was one match on the. We're going to watch it, or should we? I was thinking.
Okay. Go to 47 minutes, 58 seconds.
Okay.
Because I believe that's the Rick Rude match. We'll just scamper past the first 45 minutes of the show. That's 47 minutes and 58 seconds. For you people who are from West Virginia, that's 47 minutes, 58 seconds.
All right. I am at 47:58.
Yeah, for you people from Alabama, that's hand me another beer. Ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I can't wait. This is going to be exciting. Isn't it great?
Dude, I mean, it's cool that we've never seen this show before. Like, this is like real time capsule stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a great find by WWE. And I'm glad that we're going to get to watch the last 17 minutes of it here.
No, we're not watching the last 17
I know,
minutes.
I'm just kidding. It was your joke. How come I get heat when I repeat your joke? How does that work?
Well,
when you say something and then I say it and you fucking jump on me, it's like, I don't know how that works.
Well,
like
because I'm on the box on the goddamn left as you're looking on YouTube. Look at your YouTube video. Look at the box on the left. It's me. That's how come.
I'm for it. 47:58 is where the box on the left says we should start.
Can we say hello to the dickheads who are with us?
Man, you know what? I'm just going to fucking shut up and listen. I'm in the number 2 seat today. So whenever you need me, you just tap me on the fucking head and I'll say, that's exactly right, Excalibur.
James Alcora is with us. Jason Taylor is with us. Antonio Santos just got out of prison. He's with us. John Hamilton's with us. Sorry, Antonio, I had to say that. Coach Rose is with us. He's probably high right now. Great job as a high school coach. Greg Jacobson is with us as well. What else is going on here? Alex Wheaton. And
Who are these motherfuckers? You gonna tell
King
us?
Rob the Great. King Rob. I think I owe King Rob a message on YouTube or on Patreon. Bad Money Slim, of course, he's with us. And that's it. You ready?
No, wait. Where are these motherfuckers from? Why are they here?
Because we're live on this.
Because they're Patreon members. So
Oh, yes, they're
Patreon.com
Patreon members.
WCW Monday. And if you'd
Yeah.
like to join us live as we record on Monday night, right after Monday Night Raw, except when they're in Europe, then it's just late because fuck it. It's 10 p.m. Eastern every Monday night. You can be a part of our live recordings. Go join us on Patreon. It's patreon.com/WHW Monday. And you too will have to find 47 minutes and 58 seconds on your WWE Vault upload from WCW in Manchester, March 13th, 1993.
You're going to see a wide shot of the arena in Manchester. I had a chance to go to this arena later on. I think it was like in 2000, maybe November of 2000. I think we did a show there. Okay. Anyway, as Bryant just said, this is the best way to spend a Monday night. Wouldn't you agree, Conrad?
Dude, I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I always do when we sit down and chop it up. Make plans to join us next Monday, patreon.com/WHW Monday. Hopefully you're ready and locked and loaded at 47 minutes and 58 seconds. Tony, you got a countdown, or are we kicking it old school, baby?
We're kicking it old school. All right.
All righty.
All right. As they say in Alabama, 3, 2, 1, play.
Man, I thought you were going to slide in a fuck your sister or something right there.
No. No, sir. Well,
so let me give you some little context here, just so you know. The Vinny Vegas Davey Boy Smith match aired 2 weeks later on the March 27th edition of WCW Saturday Night, and Eric Bischoff and Larry Zbyszko dubbed in the commentary.
Okay.
But nothing else from this show ever aired on WCW TV. And I love this old school spotlight shot of Rick Rude walking to the ring. Over his right shoulder, our left, is Doug Dillinger, and on the other side, Nick Patrick. I don't know, man. This old school lighting and the spotlight treatment, it makes it just feel, I don't know, nostalgia. Maybe that's the right word.
Gary Michael Capetta overselling the mic being jerked out of his hand, as I do in the ring.
Speaking of Gary Michael Capetta, he recently shared about this WCW UK tour. Again, this is March of 93. He says this was a 6-city tour in March of 93 from the Wembley Arena in London. That was a 11,500 sellout. The NEC in Birmingham, that was a 10,500 sellout. The GMEX in Manchester, which is an 8,000-seater sellout. Aberdeen, Scotland, 5,000 sellout. Kings Hall had 3,000, and the Point in Dublin had 3,000. Gary says that WCW traveled from city to city in 2 tour buses.
Yeah.
Business was pretty good. Coming off 3 sellouts, spirits were high until we approached Belfast. The morning of the Belfast event, we received threats of bombings at Kings Hall, largely aimed at the appearance of Davey Boy Smith, the British Bulldog. The promoters considered canceling the show, but instead decided, in addition to heightened security, we wouldn't stay in town that night as planned, so the Belfast hotel was canceled. The Dublin hotel was able to accommodate the crew an extra night, and we would head to Dublin immediately after the Belfast show. So we did the show without hotel rooms to rest beforehand. So it was a long afternoon in Belfast. I remember sitting in a shopping mall across from King's Hall to kill time. We were aware of the bomb threats, but the fans were not. And as I opened the Belfast show, I wasn't fearful, but on alert. Hopefully fans did not pick up on the tension that existed. And one unintended positive consequence of the change of the travel itinerary was meant we got to spend the full St. Patrick's Day in Dublin.
Yeah.
So nice little note from Gary Michael Capetta, but you're saying you weren't on this tour at the time.
No, I was not. The only time I went to Manchester was, again, near the end of WCW. I believe we worked London and Manchester. And I remember because me and Gene Okerlund and Ric Flair and a couple other people took a train instead of the bus from Manchester. I think they worked Birmingham as well. Oh, we got a little tag team match going on here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. We're watching this on YouTube. Hopefully you've fired down and you're ready to be with us. The opening match was Johnny B. Bad versus Scotty Flamingo. And then we had Max Payne versus Michael Hayes. And now we've got Rick Rude teaming with Barry Windham to take on Dustin Rhodes. And I'll give you $1 if you can guess his tag team partner.
$1 for Dustin Rhodes' tag team partner?
Yep. Yes.
Ricky Steamboat.
Van fucking Hammer.
Oh, my God.
No disrespect to Van Hammer, but when you play the game, Rick Rude, Barry Windham, Dustin Rhodes, and Van Hammer, that old childhood game, which one of these is not like the other?
Sesame Street, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, I was looking up some stuff. We did a Thunder from Manchester on the 12th of November, 2000.
Oh, how about you? Look at there.
So now this house show, and my God, there's Bill Dundee, and there's Grizzly Smith, and there's Doug Dellinger. Look at this. So Barry Windham comes with the chair. Doug falls on his ass. Hey, we're off and running, buddy. When Doug falls on his ass.
It's silly, but I just love the costuming of the era. Like, Dustin coming out with the yellow leather jacket and the old school Austin Hall pull-up yellow and white boots.
Mm-hmm.
But then, Rick Rude sporting the airbrush tights and the red robe. Like, this era, this is just my shit. I wasn't even actively watching wrestling in 93, but oh my God, Van Hammer making the save. Wow. Does it look like, respectfully, he looks out of place here?
Yeah, well, then he's going to start to wrestle.
Yeah. My God, Grizzly Adams could almost see over the top rope walking to the ring there. He's a foot taller than everybody.
Who's he trying to portray here? Who's the rocker with the hat he's trying to portray?
An asshole. I mean, it feels like he's like the worst replacement for Poison ever.
Yeah. And he's starting to go dun, dun, get the fans to clap, and not many of them are clapping with him. Some are in the back.
Well, I'll tell you what, I wish that the guys back then, they knew about Brunt. Of course, we're talking about Brunt, the ultimate pair of work boots. How about some comfortable work boots? That doesn't even really make sense, does it? But it does now. I'm a big believer in these boots. I had to try them. I got them to some extended family members of mine who are in the construction business. They've been wearing them for weeks, and they've already reordered and say, dude, everybody on our crew is loving these. They've got over 500,000 customers, and they've got everything you're looking for, whether you're looking for lightweight, waterproof, slip and oil resistant, heat resistant, even electrical hazard rated. How about that?
Wow.
They got something for everybody, but also comfortable right out of the box. You see, Brunt's best-selling Marin work boots were not only built for the toughest job sites, but they're completely waterproof. So whether it's rain, mud, or just standing water, your feet stay dry. From oily workshop floors to muddy farm fields and everywhere in between, the Marin 6-inch soft toe is built for workers across a variety of trades. And Brunt isn't just for work boots. They've got a whole range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. They got heavy-duty work pants to weather-resistant jackets. And Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear. Brunt knows they have the best boots on the planet, and they'll let you try any of their products on the job risk-free. That's how you know it's good. All of Brunt's boots carry the names of real workers in the trades who actually tested and inspired them. I love their backstory. Go check it out. Brunt just doesn't make a durable work boot. They reinvented comfort for the hardest workers out there. So for a limited time, our listeners can get $10 off over at Brunt by using the code WHW at checkout. Just head on over to bruntworkwear.com. That's bruntworkwear.com and use our code WHW and you're all set. Even better, Brunt lets you try all their products on the job risk-free. Now, after you purchase, they're going to ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. That's bruntworkwear.com with the promo code WHW. And boy, I hope Rick Rude's got his working boots on wrestling Van Hammer tonight. God damn.
Yeah, it's a singles match, and Hammer is trying to get the crowd fired up as best he can.
Well, it started as a tag match.
Yeah.
And I think everybody was kind of hoping that Ricky Steamboat was going to be the other guy in the spot. And yeah.
By the way, Chris North tells us that the hat was reminiscent of Stevie Ray Vaughan. Good call.
Oh, that's
on that.
exactly right.
Good
Yes.
call. That's there.
You
Absolutely.
fucking nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey, Coach Rosie says he's going to tell Brunt that Disco sent him. Kick him out of the fucking group chat.
yeah. Okay. Dave, would you block Coach Rosie?
Yeah, tell him to kick rocks.
Okay. Get out of here.
Hey, real deal. Shout out to Coach Rosie. He, I think he's going to be at Jimmy's Famous Seafood. I don't know if you saw, but they're doing a little special fundraiser coming up for the folks over at Culture City.
Hmm.
I think it's called a meat feast.
Okay.
You know, I guess you get to meet wrestlers and
Yeah.
have a feast, which is kind of what Jimmy's is all about.
Yeah. Well, is that when we're in Baltimore during that era, during that time coming up
Yes.
soon?
Yes.
We're in Baltimore, I believe, on the 9th. That's the Dynamite after Dynasty
I mean, how crazy is it you guys have never done a pay-per-view in
in Philadelphia.
I did a double take and I was like, wait, what? One of
Yeah.
the great wrestling towns, and this is the first pay-per-view? You know it's
Yeah.
going to kick ass.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be great, and I'm really looking forward to being in Philadelphia, but also to call the matches like we said earlier. And I'm looking here at Van Hammer. The reason I say a lot of unkind things about Van Hammer's work is that excuse me, that's Van Hammer on the phone. What the fuck are you saying, Schiavone? Okay, here I go. Let's go sell the fucking car. Send. Anyway, is that Van Hammer was a terrible worker. We know that. But I also remember in the back him trying to structure a match. And I remember thinking, oh, brother. But, he really believed in himself and thought he knew what he was doing, which I guess you got to, right? But to the point where, well, anyway, there it was. Oh, mocking Rick Rude.
Tony, give everybody a time code. Tell them where
Yeah.
you are right now.
He just did the hip toss or the hip gyration at 58, 27, 28, 29, 30. You around the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just know that we started at an off time, so I just want to make sure everybody's got a chance to.
They're showing a lot of crowd, which tells me that our regular director is not there. And it looks like this is pretty much just about a 2 or 3 camera shoot. You got this, well, they got the one camera, and then they got this catty corner camera. And there, look at that.
What do you think about Van Hammer doing the gyrations?
Yeah, well, did he just reach down on his joint just now?
We got James Elkarai with us, and he wants to know, when you're sightseeing on these international trips, did you give fans that noticed you walking around some more time since you go there maybe once a year? Any cool fan interactions
on these trips?
Yep.
No, none. No, I did have a pretty cool fan interaction when we were in recently in Australia, and I walked up to the market to get an energy drink, and a fan said, "Oh my God, you don't know how big a fan I am." And we talked for a little while, and that told me that we do have an impact in Australia. But I didn't remember a lot of a recognition in England, to be honest with you. So
maybe we need a new shirt that says "I'm not over in England."
But the my recognition back then is not like it is now. Does that make sense?
You were more known back then?
No, I'm more known now because of the kids that grew up with me. I get that all the time, the voice of my childhood and all that. So I think I'm more recognizable now.
Tony, I'd like to let you know that tomorrow is Ginger's birthday.
Oh, wow.
She's going to be 10 tomorrow.
Oh, Ginger.
And she did a little run in. She snuck in, and I'm not mad about it at all.
Yeah, the girl.
This is her first time checking out the lights, and you can see she's a little weirded out and was hoping for a TREAT, but I don't have any here. Yeah, she'll be 70 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a little ice cream social here for all the family dogs tomorrow. She's going to be fired up about it.
Well, little Dobby had diarrhea.
Oh, really?
Yes, on had it on Friday, and that's why I don't have him here now. I have him back in his kennel because we've taken him. I took him to the emergency room that night. There's a dog 24-hour emergency room, and then brought him back home, and then he shit all over my room, and then he shit in the hallway, and I had to have carpet cleaners come in today and clean up the carpet. It was bad.
Did you hear that, Ginger? Tony's got a shitty dog.
Yeah.
That means
Exactly.
you are the official dog of what happened when.
Kiss that face, Ginger. Does it taste like shit? Yeah, you go.
No.
Yeah.
No, but Tony's dogs do, and so does his carpet. It's all shitty. There's shit everywhere.
Oh God, there's nothing. There's nothing like a little dog, isn't there? There's nothing like a little dog. I mean,
Especially a little run-in right
Yeah,
here, right in the middle
right.
of the show. I'm not even mad about it.
You shouldn't be. It's better than watching Van Hammer.
Well, buddy, you took the
Yeah.
words out of my mouth. Took the words right out of my mouth.
And they're putting in some time here too. Now the main event here is Vader and Cactus. Is that right? Did you tell me that? Do we?
Yeah, Vader. Well, so let me run through the whole card here because
Okay.
I know you're going to be excited about
I'm
it.
excited already.
We've got Johnny B. Bad coming out. He's going to get an award. And then we've got Vinny Vergas versus the British Bulldog. Then we got Cactus Jack and Vader.
Mm.
And then what a main event this is. Sting versus Paul Orndorff.
Wow.
This is a fun show, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, they guys, there was, and I've done a lot of house shows as ring announcer. There was obviously a different vibe to a house show on many levels. Of course, with the cameras there, the guys are thinking, this is going to be televised, so it's not like a real house show, but just away from the regular television, it was really cool to be able to go out with the guys and go to a show that wasn't televised. And I did a lot of those back in the JCP era. I loved them. I really did.
John Hamilton says, Tony, you abandoned us for 20 years and we missed you.
Uh-huh.
How's that saying go? How can we miss you if you never go away?
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm glad that you're back in wrestling. Jason Taylor is appreciating what we're watching here and says, I'm sad that house shows are dying in major wrestling. I did get to go to an AEW house show. I know that AEW is not running house shows right now, but man, the house show I went to was a lot of fun. I actually enjoy house shows more than TV shows. And I know there's more, matches and stories of consequence, and you get the big pyro and the screens, and it feels like a much bigger production because it is for television.
Right.
And I kind of like when the guys can not have to be as concerned about hitting their times and facing the hard cam and, are we in a break? And they can not worry as much about, hit the television truck, if you will, and they can just be in the moment and interact with the crowd. One of my favorite things about stand-up comedy is when there's spontaneous crowd work. Listen to me, spontaneity or spontaneous crowd work, like we see Cassio Kid do. But the idea that, that is now a maybe lost art in wrestling because house shows seem to be a thing of the past. Now, I guess the only thing we have like a house show now is just an indie show, right?
That's replaced it. You're right. The WWE doesn't run house shows anymore.
Not really. I mean, they do every now and again, like they did some internationally here.
Right.
Because they're on a big European tour and they've been going forever, which is why Raw's airing just in the middle of the day. But hey, at least today when they did their promos, it was an English speaking crowd because they're in the UK. So, or London town, I believe specifically.
Sure. Well, that's, I miss the house shows. I agree. It's just, it's a different vibe to it. A lot of excitement. The guys approach it differently. And it's one of them lost arts, man. Well, it's like any other sport. I've said this many times. College football is not a football game anymore. It's a television show.
That's right.
So television has changed the dynamic of everything. And then with streaming and, the money that television networks and streaming services are putting out, like, the reason college football is in the shape it's in is because all the money ESPN and CBS is paying for all this stuff, right? And Fox, FS1, geez, they make billions of dollars. So it's just changed. It's they used to not take all these television timeouts. Remember back in the day,
Yeah.
but they do now. Why? Because that's where the money is.
Yeah, of course.
So it's the same thing. The same thing as wrestling. These shows, the only really income you make from house shows are the gates, or unless someone paid you to come in there. But television, you get all the commercials.
Hey, speaking of commercials, I saw a great commercial over the weekend that I thought I should share with you. Do you like steak, Tony?
Steak?
Yeah.
Not really.
Have you ever heard that people enjoy steak? Have you heard?
Yes,
of
I've heard of that. Yes.
Steak houses. Are you familiar with that?
I've been to a steakhouse with you.
Oh, okay. Maybe we've got a steakhouse commercial that I think you would dig. Let's take a look.
I'm at the Beef and Brew on Court Street. You should come down here. Hold on a second. Bartender, you!
Yes, ma'am.
I thought this prime rib was supposed to be huge.
It's a 1 pound prime rib, ma'am.
Where? Oh my, that is a big one.
The 4-fork, 1 pound, $10.95 prime rib. First National Beef and Brew, Court Street, Watertown. We've got your beef right here.
That guy knew how to make a commercial, didn't he?
Can you believe that they used a lady's bosom as the attraction for a local steakhouse commercial? Because when I saw that, I was like, can you imagine if they did that in 2025? I don't know if it would go viral or they'd get canceled or both.
Yeah. And of course, she couldn't tell how big the steak was because it was in the shade, so to speak.
It was under the canopy.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of canopy, you guys had a canopy of the Union Jack flag strapped to the back of the British Bulldog. Check out this old newspaper ad that our friend of the show, Richard Land, found for this show, which I thought was kind of cool. Special added attraction, Davey Boy Smith. The real event, World Championship Wrestling at the GMEX Manchester, Saturday, 13th of March at 7:30 p.m. Tickets $12.50 and $7.50. And it gives the box office line in the corner. It says, as seen on ITV every week. Also starring Sting, Van Hammer, Dustin Rhodes, and the current WCW World Champion. I think that's interesting that they went with throwing Van Hammer on there rather than Rick Rude, rather than Barry Windham.
Yeah.
Rather than Cactus Jack. Like, how I know it feels like we're piling on Van Hammer. I don't mean to, but it's like at this point, Rick Rude was a WWF superstar. Feels like you'd want him on the poster.
Yeah, and Barry Windham was world champion, wasn't he, this time? Didn't he come out with the belt?
He came out with the international title, Tony.
Oh, the international title. Sorry.
Believe it or not, the first night of this tour, Sting won the world title from Vader. But the last night of the tour, Sting dropped it back to Vader. So he wins it on March 11th in London town, and he loses it to Vader in Dublin on March 17th.
Wow.
Can you imagine seeing Sting and Vader in a world title change on fucking St. Patrick's Day in Dublin? Like, that just feels like, if you're a wrestling fan and an alcoholic, it's like a dream come true.
Here's a 1, 2, 3. The Rude Awakening, I believe, is what we called it, didn't we?
Hey, speaking of alcohol and wrestling, did you see that Frankfort, Kentucky is putting together a Miss Elizabeth exhibit for 2 years? This is real, Tony. The First Lady of Wrestling, as you and I are recording, it opened today, March 31st. It's totally free, Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Capital City Museum in Frankfort, Kentucky. But yeah, the lovely Miss Elizabeth, Frankfort, Kentucky's own. I think that's super cool, and I hope more small communities do this and sort of embrace the heritage of pro wrestling, because, you know, they do this for a lot of actors or actresses, and they certainly do it for athletes. I mean, we've all seen those towns like, welcome to the city limits of so-and-so, home of, and, you know, and it lists that out.
Right.
But I do think that's pretty cool that they actually have a Miss Elizabeth exhibit.
I think it's great too. I was wondering if they had to get WWE approval for that.
Why would they have to do that?
Well, you know. They
I
probably
don't.
own her likeness now, right?
Nope. I can't imagine.
You never know. You just never know.
Okay. Well, maybe they'll get a cease and desist, and boy, that would be a great look.
Yeah. Or
Uh,
maybe they went to them and said, "You have any Miss Elizabeth memorabilia you could lend us to for the," and hopefully that's the way it was done.
well, I know for certain that Matt Cardona has a naked Miss Elizabeth doll he could donate.
I'm sure he does.
By the way, we just saw a fucking Van Hammer match with an electric chair. Brad
Mhm.
Money Slim points out.
Yeah. Little stinger. And we go to the wide shot once again. And Van Hammer's still walking away. And we go to the wide shot once again. And this may be Johnny B. Bad's promo here. I think he's going to do a promo. Didn't you say he got an award or something here during
Yeah.
the show?
I think so.
Yeah.
I want to mention that pro wrestling is enjoying a resurgence here in 1993 in the UK. A lot of that is largely on the back of SummerSlam 92 at Wembley Stadium. But we had a WWF tour here in February of 93. The next month in March of 93, there's a WCW tour. Come April of 93, right after WrestleMania, they're back in the WWF. The final Hogan matches in the shadow of King of the Ring is going to happen in August of 1993 here in the WWF. WCW will be back in October of 93, and WWF goes back one last time in December. So the WWF was there in February, April, August, and December. Of course, this is when their business is just deader than Kelsey's nuts, as the old expression goes.
Right.
At least in the WWF in America, just domestically. But they could go international and do well. But that seems like a lot of shows. As I understand it, though, you guys have a really big pay-per-view coming up, and in conjunction with New Japan in London. So this ought to be another big year for AEW in London.
Yeah, I think we announced that we were going to return to London this time for Forbidden Door.
Yep.
I'm sure more details will come in the weeks and months to come. But here comes Johnny B. Bad. Neil Pruitt is pulling on Bill Tinsley, who's running the camera. How about that? Neil Pruitt makes an appearance. I also saw Mike Weber there at ringside. And
I
Johnny
see
B.
Neil. Man, Neil with dark hair. I've never seen that.
Yeah, isn't that something? So
I've
we
yet
can't
to
track this, can
identify
we?
which one is. Yeah, we can. We just can't monetize it. But if you want to hear it,
No,
brother,
I want to
that'd be
monetize
good
it. The hell
to
with
do it.
that.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, so just so I know, where's Mike Weber? Because I haven't found him yet.
Okay, he came out at first. He may have circled back around, but he first, I saw him come out with everybody.
Well, I'll tell you something that you're going to see come out next time you come to my house. And that's the Turtle Beach headset. I'm pumped about the Stealth 700. I've had a lot of fun playing my friends on this dude. And I have to admit, I was not a headset user. I tried this once before, way back when, but that's back when cords were around. And when I heard that they were cordless, I thought, well, but the battery's going to die. Dude, I've been playing with my Stealth 700 for like over a month, and it's not died yet. I haven't had to charge it at all. They tell me it's got an 80-hour battery life, but I disagree. I think it's even longer than that. I've never had to charge it. And by the way, I use it every time I play now. I could play for hours without ever getting uncomfortable. And that's not even the case even when I'm doing a podcast. I'm just a big believer in this. And I'm proud to say that the Stealth 700 has the industry's first ever cross-play dual wireless transmitter system. And that means you can seamlessly switch between your consoles and your PC with just a click of a button. And it gets even better. While being connected to your console, the Stealth 700 can still connect with your phone for streaming music or taking calls all at the same time. So you can listen to your favorite songs while gaming, and it's all done with the Stealth 700. Turtle Beach doesn't just have amazing headsets. They have every gaming accessory you could ever want, and it's all high quality stuff at prices that don't break the bank. From flight and racing simulators to controllers and keyboards and mice, Turtle Beach is the ultimate gaming cheat code. So head on over right now to turtlebeach.com and use the code WHW for 10% off your entire order. That's 10% off your order at turtlebeach.com with the promo code WHW. Now, after you purchase, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. Get the ultimate immersive gaming experience with Turtle Beach today.
John Hamilton, get you one, buddy.
Mark Miro is cutting a promo here. I can only imagine that it's inspirational because that's what he does. And if you've not seen his book yet, I highly recommend it. I think everywhere I've looked, this thing's gotten 5 stars. It's called From Bad to Good. Highly recommend it. I enjoyed it. I read it in a single sitting. We actually chopped it up with him over at adfreeshows.com. When you think about the Mount Rushmore of great inspirational people in the wrestling business, it's probably got Diamond Dallas Page and Lex Luger and Mark Mero on it somewhere. And I highly recommend, if you're a wrestling fan who loves nostalgia and wrestling from the period that we're covering, check out his new book, Bad to Good. Not a paid plug, just taking care of a friend, because it is a great book and I know you'll enjoy it. Not a big Mark Mero fan, it sounds like.
Yeah, I liked Mark a lot. I always thought he was, I knew he's a very positive guy, but he was always positive back then. And I'm telling you, there's Mike Weber, I don't know if you saw him with the tie on right there, but it is hard. It is difficult in the wrestling business at times for wrestlers to stay positive because of the grind back then. And so I always kind of was admired that in Mark. He always seemed to smile. He will always seem to be happy, and I'm sure many times he wasn't. It's very difficult to put on a happy face when you're not, right?
Bad Bunny Slim says, Conrad, Mark Mero was at my son's high school in September. Wild. Yeah, I mean, he's talking to schools and making appearances on a regular basis. And wait, I see Mike Weber.
Yeah,
a
he's
very
talking.
young, dark-haired Mike Weber.
Yeah.
My goodness. I've only known Salt and Pepper or Gray Mike Weber.
Right. Well, we do age.
No, it always cracks me up because you're my friend that I always reference when I talk about time, because you know that you've gotten older.
Right.
But when you see people, you're still surprised when they aged too. It's like
Yeah.
it sneaks up on you. And it doesn't matter who we see, every time you'll be like, Jesus fucking Christ, that guy got old. And I'm like, Tony, that was 35 years ago. You're like, still. I don't know why, but it just makes me laugh. You're just like, how the fuck is he that old? I mean, I know I got grandkids, and my wife got a new hip, but what the fuck ever? That guy's old. It's awesome.
Well, it's like we showed the picture a couple of weeks ago when I was in Vegas and I went to the Chicago concert, and I got a chance to meet him, and I was in that picture, and I was between Jimmy Pankow, the trombone player, and Robert Lamb, who is the piano player, and then behind me was Lee Laughlin, who is the trumpet player. Right? These 3 guys are still the remaining original members of Chicago that still tour. To my left, all right, Robert Lamb is 80 freaking years old. And it's like, I'm excited, but I'm depressed because, damn, we're all getting old. But yeah, it's like, and like we of course are coming to you live Monday, and of course we posted on Wednesday. Today is Herb Alpert's 90th birthday.
Wow.
I don't know if you remember Herb Albert and grew up with Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass or not. I mean, it was.
No, I didn't know what you just said. I thought he was a enhancement talent from JCP or something like that.
You know what? I would sleep with one eye open at night.
Why's that?
Because the music gods may come and cut your throat.
Nah, if that dude's 90, I don't think he's gonna sneak up on me.
Okay.
Hey, by
Herb
the
Albert
way,
and the Tijuana Brass.
yeah, I mean Silva might be familiar with them. The only thing I know about Tijuana's that Quentin Tarantino movie and donkey shows that Bruce Pritchard told me he went to, but that's all I got.
Wow. Herb Albert's one of the great musicians of all time.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Who could forget all of his classics?
Yes. Yeah, you're going to go to hell, Conrad.
Wait, not for that though.
No, yes, you are for that.
Oh, but be a lot of other things.
Yeah, no, that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm just thinking about this. This has got to be near the end of Vinny Vegas's run.
Yep.
I think his last match was like June of '93 against Van Hammer.
Okay.
And then the next thing you know, he's in the
Oz.
WWF with
Okay.
Shawn Michaels.
All right. He was Oz before this, right?
Yes. This
Okay.
is his swan song. After this, he becomes a big star as Diesel and then comes back as Kevin Firkin Nash.
Yeah.
By the way, Bad Money Slim, he likes to pull his pud, and he needs you to give him the time code, Tony. Where are you at, bud?
Okay. Bad Money pull putter. Bud putter.
Bud
1
puller?
hour. 1 hour, 21 minutes, 27, 28, 29, 1 hour, 21, 31, 32. Again, it's 1 hour, 21 minutes, 35 seconds, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40.
And by the way, if you're not sure where to join us, the link is in the description, or one more time, it's at https://youtu.be/2mykc capital Q lowercase h capital M lowercase l c capital M
We fucking got it.
equals xe70, that's O not 0, 2M. The M is capital, so is the J and the E. But now back to lowercase for OQ, capital STW, capital G, the number 1, capital Q.
Is the wording back to lowercase in there too, or is that was just you explaining that?
No, yeah, you could type in back to lowercase if you want and just try it both ways.
Okay.
By the way, Jason Taylor is very appreciative that I'm giving all the specifics. So there you go. We know he's meticulous.
Yeah, Jason Taylor, one of the smartest men I know. And I know a lot of smart men. I know a lot of dumbasses too.
Bad Money Slim is with me. He says, I personally love Conrad reading links.
I was saying, I know a lot of dumbasses as well.
Wow, that's hurtful.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of dumbasses, we're not watching two here. We're watching two bona fide WWF superstars, but right now they're here toiling away in WCW. But, listen, they didn't need any help promoting on this tour because this show is sold out. But if they were looking for acute promotion that might not break the bank, maybe they could take a look at this Fireball promotion, Tony. I can't wait to get your take on this because this is interesting. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey is holding a contest for a lifetime supply, but only for senior citizens over 90 years old. So if you're 90 or over, which that old geezer who you said, played a flute or some shit in band, he just turned 90. He could be eligible to win this Fireball whiskey. I guess you said there was some sort of rock and roll gods or music gods or something with some Tijuana donkey, and there's a flute or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, he could win a lifetime supply. What do you think about that? Maybe we could do a lifetime supply of free AEW pay-per-views.
Yeah.
But you got to be 90 in order to enter.
Speaking of, on behalf of a guy who's much closer to 90 than you and all these fuckers here with us online, I think that sucks.
What?
It
a
does.
lifetime supply?
Yeah, it sucks.
You don't like Fireball, or you
No,
don't like
I just think they know that number one, a person's going to win it. A person 90 years old is probably not going to drink a lot of Fireball, and number two is probably not going to live long enough. Why don't you have? It's a bullshit promotion.
Tony, it's called a fucking joke.
Okay.
I know you're not in a very jokey mood today, but it's called the joke.
I'm in a jokey mood.
All right. Well, let's see how you like.
I live with Lois. I'm in a jokey mood.
You ain't got to get hot about it.
Okay.
Well, I think I got something that'll cheer you up, though.
Okay, good. Is it the girl with her?
Let's visit the doctor. Silva hit it. Meanwhile, in Hollywood, Florida, this is an actual photo of a doctor's office.
Okay.
You want to tell everybody the name of the doctor?
Dr. Harry Pepe.
Try it again.
Dr. Harry Pepe.
And Associates.
And Associates.
I wonder if his associates are also named Harry. Have first name Harry,
Yes.
What if their surname was like
Cooter? No.
Oh, wow. Yes, the associates for Dr. Harry PP are Harry Cooter and Harry Asshole. My God. Harry PP. That would be an excellent time, by the way, to have a Manscaped ad.
Okay.
Manscaped. Damn you.
Damn.
So we are watching Vinny Vegas stalling for time here.
Wow.
With Davey Boy Smith. And I actually like this spot because as silly and goofy as it is, I used to love the test of strength spots in wrestling as a kid.
You did?
I realize as an adult, it's kind of cheesy, but as a kid, I was into this.
Okay. So you were into this, but you were not into a bear hug.
No, because a bear hug just felt stupid or gay. But this felt neither one. It was like, like I hug my dad.
Right.
So it's hard for me to be like, oh, now this thing, the way I show my dad affection, it's actually fucking him up, his internal organ. It's like, that's stupid. But with this, if I played this game with my dad, well, it wasn't stupid.
Right. Exactly. It's the Greco-Roman knuckle lock, right?
Oh, I love that.
I love that too.
I remember calling that. I mean, where did that come from?
God, I don't know.
Because I know there's an announcer who did it, and I can't remember. Somebody in the group chat will tell us.
It was a Gordon Soley, maybe, that did that.
Was that? That sounds like a Gorilla Monsoon thing.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
Bryant is with us here live, and he wants to know, Tony, what's your friendship bracelet say?
Oh, thanks for asking, Bryant. A fan gave this to me, and it says Chewy, Scout, Kirby. 3 of my dog, and Bug. It's got the Bug's name on there too.
Oh wow, how about that, dude?
Yeah, and then this blue bracelet I've had this on since Bug passed away. This is Pippin the Bug 2010 to 2024, who, by the way, passed away 1 year ago this past Friday.
Oh man.
I'm sorry, this past Saturday. And you know what was when little Dobby had the shits, I had to take him to the emergency room. And I took him to the emergency room 1 year ago when I took Pip to the emergency room. And they said, you better go to your vet the next day. And the very next day, we had to put Pip down. So taking Dobby to the emergency room a year removed from taking Pip there was kind of a tough experience.
Yeah, dude, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Yep, the 29th of March, he went down. That's how time goes by. So we just
you know what? I didn't
more
realize
dollars.
the date until you said that.
What?
But that's also the anniversary of Reed Flair's passing.
The 29th of
March 29th.
Wow.
Reed Flair and Bug.
Whoa, man.
Holy shit, dude. How did I not put that together last year?
Jeez, I don't know. I think probably last year I didn't talk about the actual date. I just said he had passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you probably didn't know the date.
But when you said March 29th, it's like, oh, wait a minute. I know that date.
Yeah. Still tough.
Coach Rosie's with us here, and he says, how would you like a British or European crowd to chant your name? Has that happened before when you went over there? Because I think at the first All In, they were doing that, right?
They sang my name. Yeah.
Now, how do you sing Tony Schiavone's name?
Well, they sang it, Tony Schiavone, something like that.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Schiavone. That's pretty good. When Bruce and I did our first European tour over there, what's that? I'm going to fuck this up because I'm a hillbilly from Alabama and it's late at night.
I'm a hillbilly too, but go ahead. Throw it out there.
Royal Albert Hall or some shit.
Yeah, that's Royal Albert Hall, right?
Yeah. So we did that one, and the crowd sang the Bye Bye Birdie song.
Really?
Love you, Conrad. Oh, yes, we do.
Oh, that's great. Isn't that great?
What the fuck? Where's Tony Schiavone when you need him? He would love this.
I would, man. Yeah, Bye Bye Birdie was a great musical.
Yes.
Yeah.
Antonio Santos, who is out on work release program, appreciate him joining us, says, Tony, did you watch the documentary on Brody Lee that came out last year? I believe it's awesome. I think you would love it.
I did not. I didn't even know it came out.
We got to find that and watch that.
Is it on YouTube?
I don't know. Antonio Santos helped us out.
Yeah. I didn't know Antonio Santos watched anything but porn.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you see your video just go crazy for a minute right there?
No.
My video just went a little crazy for a minute.
Okay, let's do a time check. Just make sure we didn't.
I'm at 130, 46, 47,
Yep.
48, 49.
That's us. We're one of the same ones.
Tony, you got a nut allergy over there?
No, I don't.
All right.
Do you? Do you have a nut allergy?
Got something I want you to take a look at about a nut allergy.
All right.
You want to read that to us?
A woman with nut allergy had reaction after Star X because her partner ate nuts beforehand and traces of his nuts in his semen triggered the allergy.
Can you believe that's a thing?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
Because the reason that this popped up as being interesting to me is Pam Grier. I guess it's been said that, you know, she used to be a partner of Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
And we know that Richard Pryor, like some of our favorite independent wrestlers from Alabama, they love their toot. And perhaps he was doing so much toot that the toot went into her.
Oh.
I didn't know you could do that. Like, that never crossed my mind that the toot might contaminate the skeet. You don't want toot skeet.
No, you don't want that.
That's different from too sweet.
Yeah.
Toot skeet, not good. Too sweet, very good.
Yeah. Nut skeet's not good either.
But nut skeet sounds like, you know, you stupid idiot.
Right.
Like,
right. You fucking nut skeet. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Okay. So, you know, a person who has peanut allergy, it is a serious thing. I've been on flights where they have said, we have been notified we have a couple of people here with peanut allergies. So we are not going to serve peanuts. Nor if you have peanuts with you, do not open the bag. Because apparently you can just open the bag of peanuts and that can trigger the allergy from someone. So,
you know, Rick told me one of his wives, she had a nut allergy. But I don't know that he was talking about the same thing.
Well, you never know what they're talking about, you know.
James Elkrai says, and that's why this is the greatest podcast ever. Toot skeet.
Toot skeet, yeah.
Which, by the way, we will have us a shirt coming soon. Toot skeet.
Toot skeet.
And then
yeah,
I got my favorite wrestler from Alabama. I'm going to get it for him in an extra medium. Toot skeet shirt. Here it comes.
Oh God.
Antonio Santos says this Brody Lee documentary came out in 2024. It's on Amazon Prime and Tubi. So I will be watching. I'm not going to say I'm all tooted up here, but I am going to be charged up after the show, and I'll need a little bit of time to wind down. I'm going to go fire up Amazon Prime and watch that on Brody Lee, and I hope everybody else will too.
Yeah,
because I get to eat it at the house, and I don't get criticized by my wife because she knows it's not a bowl full of sugar. It's actually a bowl full of protein, and you know that too. Because Magic Spoon does indeed make high protein, zero sugar cereal and treats, all reinvented from your childhood. And right now, Magic Spoon has launched a brand new high protein granola. And true to that classic Magic Spoon promise, it's packed with protein and so crunchy. Magic Spoon's high protein treats, I've already told you, man, they're crispy, they're crunchy, they're airy, and an easy way to get 12 grams of protein on the go. They come in a bunch of great flavors like marshmallow, which tastes just like the ones Mom used to make. And maybe there's some snap, crackle, and popping happening in this match right here as the British Bulldog gets the dub. They've also got chocolate peanut butter and dark chocolate, but my favorite Magic Spoon treat is double chocolate, and a double dog dare you to try it. I've never recommended it to someone who didn't love it. I know you will too. And while you're at it, try the brand new granola packs from Magic Spoon. You're going to see that they pack 13 grams of protein and zero added sugars on their own. They come in great flavors like dark chocolate almond, honey almond, and peanut butter. Go get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/WHW or look for Magic Spoon on Amazon or in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/WHW for $5 off. So there you go. Another match in the books. Of course, as we mentioned, we started the show, at least live there in the audience, with Johnny B. Bad and Scotty Flamingo. Then we had Max Payne and Michael P.S. Hayes. We were thinking we were going to get a tag match with Rude and Wyndham against Dustin Rhodes and Van Hammer, but it wound up being a singles match with Van Hammer and Rick Rude. Johnny B. Bad got his award, and that was Vinny Vegas and British Bulldog, and that was the only match that actually aired on WCW television. But now what's coming up next is Cactus Jack and Vader, and to be able to have that and then Sting and Paul Orndorff, this feels like an excellent way to close the show out. But I do think it's interesting that they had the British Bulldog on in the middle. I mean, I guess maybe you want the world title to be last, and Sting is your biggest baby face on TV. But man, I just kind of assumed he would close the show. What say you?
I thought so as well. I mean, they even had his. They did a still shot of him with some effects and
Yeah.
Doug Dillinger, get out of the shot, Doug. Get out of the shot. You're in the shot. Get out of the shot. There you go.
Well, he's got to get the kid.
Well,
They don't want Davey Boy to just fling the kid in the crowd. He did that once in Peoria, and he got in trouble.
this, by the way, that's where I'm going to be tonight, Wednesday.
Are you really?
Peoria, yeah.
I just fucking guessed. How about that?
How about that?
Hey, so I want to mention, according to Richard Land, our buddy across the pond who helps us with the history of WWE.com, he says WCW Worldwide was aired on Saturday afternoons in the UK at the time for free on ITV. So this would actually attract a much higher audience than the WWF on Sky TV. So Sky TV was like a premium pay channel,
Mm-hmm.
and ITV was, like one of their ABCs or CBSs or NBCs, as I understand it.
Yeah, that's what AEW's on. Yeah.
So WCW even produced different localized shows for the UK audience in the weeks leading up to this show.
Mm-hmm.
And you were doing commentary on these shows with Davey Boy Smith.
Right. I remember that.
And for a tour later on in the same year here in the UK, but in 1993. And unfortunately, that's the one where we had the whole Arn and Sid incident that led to Sid's dismissal from WCW and Ric Flair saving the day for Starrcade. Well, they do the same thing where they have Lord Steven Regal come in and do commentary with you to get hyped for the show. Can you tell us about doing commentary with Davey Boy and Lord Steven Regal for this UK only audience opportunity? Because we never saw that here in the States. What can you tell us about it?
First of all, I can tell you that Davey Boy Smith did not want to do it, but he did. And I thought for a guy who didn't want to do it, and it was very apparent he didn't want to do it, he even said so to me, I thought he did a very good job for someone who didn't want to do it. Sometimes when people just don't want to do that, you can see it in their work, right? Yeah, but he did a great job. Lord Steven Regal, on the other hand, wanted to learn and wanted to get better and wanted to learn how to become quote unquote an announcer. And he, as when Regal was in AEW, when he said how much I meant to his career and what I did for him, right? He's talking about the time that he and I worked together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And we also did a lot of on cameras and worked together with it. And so that began what is still a very, very, very good friendship today. And I have a lot of respect for Lord Steven Regal, or William Regal, as it were. That's because remember when he came out? God, when did he came? It wasn't a pay-per-view that he arrived in AEW. I think it was a pay-per-view. I just put my headset down when he walked off and just ran back there and talked to him and called him a son of a bitch for not letting me know he was arriving. I mean, I'd heard Bryan Danielson mention his name.
It was at Revolution 3 years ago, Revolution 2022.
Right. I'd heard Bryan Danielson mention his name on a promo, and I'm thinking, well, of course, Regal meant a lot to Bryan Danielson in his career, and that's understandable. But I never knew that was the kind of foreshadowing that Regal would show up. And so it was great to see him. But yeah, those are the two things I remember about working with those two guys on TV.
Isn't it crazy that Regal really just wound up having a 1-year hiatus from WWE? I think it's interesting that his career is like yours in that you went on a 1-year excursion with the WWF. He went on a 1-year excursion with AEW.
Yeah. Is it something?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought he did some great things with us. I really did. Well, here he is. The one and only Mick Foley.
Man, what a rivalry they had.
Yeah, it was something, man.
When did the year come off?
Yeah, I wonder ears coming off and everything. I wonder if they bled here.
March of 94. So a year later, when they did the European tour,
Mhm.
that's when Cactus lost the ear. Of course, that was in Germany.
Right.
Battle Stars 1994.
Mhm.
So this is yeah.
Now I get rename it Battle Scars.
Yeah, there you go.
uh, hmm. Yeah, when Vader got to the back, they gave him an earful. I
What's wrong with you?
don't know.
Having a lot of fun watching Vader and Cactus Jack. And Vader looks like he's in perhaps his physical prime here. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Later when he was heavier, I don't know that he was as effective, but at this weight, he could still move and he still looked intimidating as fuck.
Right.
I always was a big fan of this rivalry because, if I'm honest with you, this felt like a rivalry that could have worked in any promotion, in any territory, in any time period.
Right.
Like if you said these guys had a badass feud in the 70s and we changed, with respect, the graphics and the clothes that the people in the crowd were wearing, I could buy it. And if you're like, well, no, they were actually a big part of WrestleMania. They were even at WrestleMania 3. You'd be like, yep, okay, I could see it. We're seeing it in the 90s, but even in the 2000s, I would buy it. And I could say that, hey, maybe this was Japan, maybe this was Mexico, maybe this was Portland, maybe it was California, maybe it was for World Class. Certainly, this feels like a Bill Watts Mid-South. I mean, they could have done this. These characters, their sizes, their looks, their personas, their styles. This is kind of timeless, these two.
Yeah, and not only that, here's something that Magnum TA and I talked about. I think I brought it up on this program before. When Magnum was working in Jim Crockett Promotions, and it was on a great run. Terry and I became very good friends, and we talked a lot about wrestling back in the day because he grew up in Virginia and I did, and we both watched Mid Atlantic Championship Wrestling.
Right.
And he said there was always a hook in every show, in every card, in every promotion that made you believe. And of course, this is before kayfabe was died. He said you could go to a house show and you would say, okay, and I know that's bullshit, and I know that's bullshit, but these guys, they're real. This is a real fight. And when Vader and Cactus fought, you thought this was a real fight. This was the match on the card. You thought, these fucking guys really don't like each other. These guys are fucking crazy. And we were right. And so this is the one where you believed it. And that's what made them great. Hey, by the way, Bobby's arrived. That's Bobby KF5 GTX. And also Coach Keith Morrison's arrived as well. Hello to both of
Hey,
them.
and we're getting people fresh out of prison, people on parole, people waking up from their naps.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Just everybody's coming out of the woodwork tonight.
Antonio Santos had said that WCW booked Vader better than WWE, and that's true. And that's kind of because he kind of lost his luster in WWE, at least. Well, we know Shawn Michaels didn't want to work with him, right? And that kind of curtailed his run. Is that right to say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just did some great stuff, man.
Hey, speaking of great stuff, I don't know that you saw this, but you've at least heard of Wale Mania, right?
I've heard of it. I don't know what it is, but I've heard of it.
Well, Wale Mania has been a WrestleMania adjacent event that happened over WrestleMania weekend. And Wale, who's a major hip hop recording artist, a Grammy nominated performer, he has had a long time affection for wrestling, and he used to promote an event called Wale Mania, and your man Court Bauer of MLW was heavily involved.
Yeah.
And it's been fun through the years, but now this year they announced that it's actually going to be live on Netflix, which is kind of a cool thing for a wrestling party. to be on Netflix. The reason I'm bringing this up to you is they'll have Jeff Hardy there, which is cool. They're going to have some live podcasts. Of course, Wale is going to be there, but the DJ that night is Tommy Carlucci. Your buddy Carlucci's son is a DJ.
Yes, he's a good one.
And I just think that's so cool.
Yeah.
Tony Schiavone, man, you are like you're like the Kevin Bacon of wrestling. We've all heard that 6 degrees of separation with Kevin Bacon. It's like you are that for wrestling now.
Yeah. Interesting.
By the way, Bad Money Slim says ads are fucking my ass. What's the time code? I ain't paying for YouTube Premium. Well, that's actually a fair point. I'll tell you, it's 147.05, 06, 07, 08, 09. That's 147.10, 11. Yeah, I guess we needed to think about that. I do pay for YouTube Premium because I want to watch this shiz.
Yeah, and Bad Money Slim's too tight to do anything. So Bad Money, there you go.
Hey, something that he's not too tight for that I know for certain, and he's not going to miss. Did you say they're doing a documentary about a club in Atlanta, Tony?
What?
Yeah, and it's a club that you've come on this program before and denied ever attending. But I know for a fact that Michael P.S. Hayes has some stories from this club in Atlanta. Let's take a look. Starz has picked up a docuseries about the legendary Atlanta strip club Magic City.
Okay.
And Tony, I think when they debut this, we should do a special WHW live watch along event party celebration right there at Magic City. We can get you in the VIP, get you bottle service, invite Coach Keith down, have Bad Money Slim be our walking mascot with that crazy hair. He'll have all the gimmicks. I think, what happened when live in a strip club, Magic City in Atlanta, man, that checks all the boxes.
Yeah, but it ain't going to happen. But, I never did go to Magic City, and
we can fix that.
I've been to the Cheetah and I've been to the Gold Club. Those two. Gold Club is no longer around.
Now they're showing baby holes over there in Georgia, ain't they?
Doing what?
Aren't they showing baby holes in Georgia, kind sir?
Oh, you mean bottomless?
That's right. Not mimosas, something else.
Well, they did back in the 90s.
Wow.
Yeah.
You think there was ever any toot skeet in the Gold Club?
Probably so.
Antonio Santos says, I'll be there 4 hours early. Coach Keith
I'm
says,
sure.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
King Rob the Great says, can we invite Van Hammer? Bad Money Slim says, this is going to be so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Hey, King Rob the Great wants to know, and I don't even know what this means. Maybe you can translate. Is this like is this like a donut hole? Is this like a Krispy Kreme invention? Rob the Great wants to know, glory holes? Are you familiar with that? Are they glazed? Is it like a dunk? What are those munchkins or what are those Dunkin' things called? Glory. Is that like a donut hole? What is that?
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I think I've heard Cowboys owner Jerry Jones talking about that. Jerry Jones glory hole. Let me see if I can find anything.
Okay. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. We're doing a lot of degenerate talk over a pretty damn good match here. You know that, don't you?
I want me some glory hole. I think that's a part of leadership, is to have some of the guys that have gone before that have been disappointed to share it with everybody involved. For me, it's a reminder. I too have been here 23 years. And it is a reminder. I've been here when it was glory hole days, and I've been here when it wasn't. And so having said that, I want me some glory hole.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well, I do need to say this. He needs to worry about getting his team back to the Super Bowl, because God, I was a young buck when he was last time he was at the Super Bowl. Doesn't he realize what's going on there?
I don't know what that means.
I know what that means.
What?
Yeah, his team sucks, right, James O'Corai?
Oh.
Okay. I mean, they have not done much. I mean, good God, everybody's passed them. And they're America's team. Meanwhile, look at these Vader bombs.
It's a fantastic match.
Yes.
By the way, we've got a video, I'm told, that Silva has ready for us. I'm not even really sure what this is. I'm
brother.
sure it's educational and enlightening. Let's take a look.
Let's take a look.
Hi guys, my name is Jessica, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to score a touchdown. Just kidding. I don't know anything about football, but for 80% off, you can see my.
She's become a sensation, hasn't she?
I'll be honest. I found last week's video, and Dave in the private chat says, Ashley, now known as Jessica, is back. Video. And I replied, WTF are you talking about? And then I realized, we can always edit it out. So I'm not sure what it is, but we're already seeing comments that people, we got to give the people what they want. And I'm not talking about a hug from Orange Cassidy. Hit it, Silva.
Hi guys, my name is Jessica, and today I'm going to teach you guys how to score a touchdown. Just kidding. I don't know anything about football, but for 80% off, you can see my.
And by the way, Antonio Santos just had a stroke.
Alex Wheaton says, I'm going to need that promo code. Here's what we need. This happens with young boys over in Japan. They go on what's called excursion. And Coach Rosie, I'm going to have to send you on excursion. You're going to need to negotiate and go find, I guess her name is Ashley, but now we know her as Jessica. We're going to need you to see if you can help set up a promo code using promo code WHW.
Yeah.
And because if we could go ahead and direct traffic to her,
yeah,
I feel like that's our target audience, right?
I don't know. It's the target audience with the deadbeats we have on with us live right now, but I'm not sure.
They're deadbeats?
Yes.
Coach Keith just said, he'll put up $25.
Yeah. Yeah.
Antonio
said 35.
45, and I have blue balls.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. Like, why doesn't he have red ones or green ones? Is he colorblind?
No.
Because
Coach Rosie's on it. Yeah. There you go. Good job.
Yeah. He's
okay.
on
Meanwhile, this is a wrestling podcast, and
there's
wrestling going on right now. And I'm surprised. I'm thinking about this. Do you think there was a no blood edict here? Because I was sure that Vader and Cactus would bleed.
Punch to the head right there. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. That's why these matches were so fucking great. They were real. But do you think there was no blood?
Look how far out he is for this Vader splash.
Senton? Nope, the Vader splash.
Coach Keith said he would wrestle her. I don't know who her is, but he's in. Bad Money says, I am, in fact, a deadbeat. Deadbeat. Waka, waka, waka.
We had her on last week, and I know Antonio Santos missed her last week. So, Antonio, this is like the second week in a row we've had that girl on with us. And
with Coach Keith's help, with Coach Rosie's help, we're going to make it 3 weeks in a row.
Okay.
By the way, if you're looking to get some leads on how you can close some deals like that and some genius marketing, can I recommend Conrad'sGuy.com? I'm really talking about my friends at Envision Marketing Consultants, where smart but simple marketing drives results. And listen, I did it all. I bought billboards, I bought radio, I bought television. And so when those radio and TV reps came in and said, hey, have you thought about buying digital? I didn't even really know what that meant. But they said, hey, you've seen the ads on websites. Don't you want some of those? More people are cutting the cord. Yeah. So they placed an order. I mean, they got my money. I never got any leads, and I quit doing it. And I was just overwhelmed. And then I met Eric Nichols, and he was able to educate me about what I was buying and how the space worked. And I just felt more confident in it. So I gave it another try, and man, it really worked. My leads went up and my cost per leads went down. I got way more efficient and way more effective. And if your company is doing anything with SEO or pay-per-click or targeted display or streaming video on even Hulu, YouTube, or Amazon, well, you need to go to Conrad'sGuy.com right now. Let my buddy Eric take a look. He and his crew have decades of experience, but most importantly, I trust they're staying on top of technology and that they're optimizing our campaigns. And I'm talking to you if you're B2B or retail or food and beverage or manufacturing or nonprofits or certainly mortgages. We make it easy at Conrad'sGuy.com. I don't work there, but I trust these guys. And you've heard me say this before, Tony. I got a guy.
Yep.
Anytime something comes up, I say, I got a guy, because I know I can trust people that I send referrals to. And Eric is at the top of that list. If you're looking to grow your business or you have a small business, go out of your way right now to check out Eric Nichols and Envision. He can be your guy too. He's got a fast and easy form over at conradsguy.com right now. And Eric and his team will help you get your digital marketing on track. That's conradsguy.com. What a fucking match that was. And now it's time for our main event. Of course, this match ruled. I highly recommend you check it out. Easily the best match on the show. And you won't be able to poke holes in it because it was real, Tony Schiavone.
Exactly. Exactly. And he's still selling the Vader bomb.
Tony, there's some major news happening in wrestling around this time. I don't know if you're, I know you were there for a cup of coffee, but did you have any relationship at all with Dino Bravo?
No, Dino was not a friendly sort.
Well, I think I figured that out when he got shot 7 times, at least twice in the head.
Right.
On March 10th. So 3 days before this show that we're watching, he got whacked in Laval, Quebec, a city that's about 20 minutes north of Montreal. Police there found 17 shells from a semi-automatic 22 and a .380 caliber handgun on the floor of Bravo's living room.
God.
Because there was no sign of a struggle or forced entry, police believe that Bravo knew his killers. Dino Bravo's wife and 6-year-old daughter were out for the evening because the daughter had ballet class. And she says, the wife, Diane, says she last spoke to her husband around 9 o'clock. And when she arrived to their $850,000 home with their daughter at 12:20, she found her husband dead, sitting in his easy chair with the television on. And because there were so many shots fired, including one which broke a window, none of his neighbors heard a thing. And that caused speculation that the killers were professionals who may have used silencers. And police also found what they called a large sum of money in his home. So, yeah.
Wow. Yeah, he wasn't that friendly. And of course, he was, when I was there, let's see, he wasn't part of the Quebecers.
No.
But he was French. He was,
that's right,
was his manager during that
Correct.
time. And he just wasn't that friendly of a guy, but doesn't mean he was a bad guy. Did they ever find a killer? And did they ever find a motive? What happened after that went down?
They believe it was involving 234 cases of cigarettes that were busted and 69 cases of tobacco.
Okay.
I guess that's $400,000 that was lost here.
Okay.
And maybe people thought that he was responsible for the bust, or either way, it was front page news. Dino Bravo executed for trafficking in tobacco.
Wow.
It's
Man.
worth mentioning that recently, the prior week actually, Dino Bravo had some acquaintances who were arrested in Montreal. They were caught with tomato cans, but these tomato cans were not filled with tomatoes, and they weren't filled with tobacco. They were filled with what we might call toot.
Wow.
So if you lose 477 kilos of toot, and then the next week, $400,000 of tobacco, well,
yeah.
When your wife comes home from dance,
mm-hmm.
And by the way, that is interesting to me. If you got a 6-year-old in March, I guess it's conceivable that this was spring break. But why is a 6-year-old coming home from ballet practice after midnight?
Yeah.
But whatever.
Wow.
Not a lot of assassinations in wrestling, right?
Yeah.
Can you think of many other assassinations in wrestling?
A lot of people killed a promotion, but
right. Now, if we were to line up people who've killed promotions, who would we put near the top of the list?
Well, you'd put me.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I worked for JCP. There they went. I worked for WCW. There they went.
You worked for XWF?
There they went. I left WWE, and look at them now.
Tony Khan, if you're listening, do not fire Tony Schiavone.
We are joking.
that belt that Sting's wearing, the WCW World Title, it's already missing the logo plate. I know you don't give one shit about that, but it's a 5-plate belt. And before you get to the snap box, there was a logo plate that said WCW champion on it. And I kind of assumed that plate came off later, but here it is, sans plate.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. What do you think of Sting's look here, by the way? Very colorful paint. The light blue or teal tights with the white scorpion and pink boots.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is quite a look here.
Yeah, and he has red, white, and blue face paint, but it's neither the Union Jack nor the Stars and Stripes. I'm just amazed at Paul Orndorff, and I know because of his nerve damage, his right arm, was not what it used to be, but still, at his age, look how great he looked back then.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. Paul was a pro, man. Really was a pro. See, I makes it they do a collar and elbow and they make it look just really, really weird. Very well done. Really weird. Real. Man, let me take my teeth out. Really real.
Oh,
real.
One shot.
Okay, there you go. Okay. Back in. Never thought I could do commentary with this in, but I can. It's amazing.
Can you do it without it? Does anything whistle? Do the S's sound funny?
I did a whole show without it, a whole collision without it. And I told him, I said, and it was a tape collision. I told him, I said, if it sounds bad, I'll go back and voice it over. And they said, no, everything sounded great. So, and I can't remember which one it was. No, Antonio, the implant will not be ready until probably the end of June. So I'm with this for quite a while. Bobby wants to know, have you had time to watch any WCW on their YouTube channel? Bobby, I wouldn't watch that at gunpoint, but I appreciate it. I'm into the now, into the now. Interesting. The fans really responded to Sting. And it's not because he's a big star, but because of the way he looks, right? Yeah. You still with me?
I sure am.
Okay. Don't nod your head because they can't hear it rattle through your microphone. Just say yes.
No, I'm aware, sir.
Okay.
I was doing something.
All right.
I know you're blessed with just pulling your pud. I got to run traffic every now and again. I'm sorry.
Run traffic. Look at Paul do some bump for Sting, man. God almighty. By the way, we are late, as you might imagine, with the March bonus podcast, but we're getting them out this week. And by the way, Adam DeMoy has one for us this month.
Tony, do you, if you don't mind,
I don't.
Could you do your tooth trick again? Let's go to one shot and we'll.
Want something low? If it ain't another hole that I got to get with, gap teeth in your mouth so my gats got to fit.
DJ Turn Up.
Oh, he's with us, and he wants to know.
Love that one. Okay.
What's your favorite song off the new Playboi Carti album?
I don't know.
You love them
missed
all?
it. I missed Playboi Carti. I missed that.
Oh man, you're gonna love it.
Do you still call it albums?
Yes.
They still call them albums.
Yep.
Okay.
Came out a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
That's I Am Music.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
You like Pop Out or Crush or K-Pop or Evil Jordan or Mojo Jojo or Philly or Radar or Rather Lie or Fine Shit or Backdoor or Toxic or Munyon or Crank or Charge Them Hoes a Fee?
No.
Good credit.
But hey, I like
Them Hoes a Fee is a fucking great name for a song.
But I sure do like Paul Orndorff against Sting as you try to drag down this podcast again.
Oh, I love it so much. And, you know, I just want you to know, Tony, that the unedited original version of that Dr. Dre lyric was, got teeth in your mouth, so my dick's gots to fit. Not my gat, but they can't say dick.
Okay. I'm glad
It
you cleared
always
that
made
up for
me-
us.
It made me laugh as a kid. Oh, I'm trying to enlighten. I live to enlighten, Tony.
Yeah, I know.
But can you imagine, like, I'm not sure if my wiener could fit, you know, and how about this? That's your Sting. How can you
Contend
with
with
this?
this?
Oh, dude.
The Gap Scorpion.
We will have Tootski and the Gap Scorpion shirts available soon. It's going to be Tony Schiavone's outline, except with one missing.
One missing tooth.
I love it.
I found out this is number 8.
Well,
one's missing, number 8. Go ahead, do something with that.
If you're from West Virginia, it might be number 1. You're one and only.
One and only.
Because the toothbrush was invented where you're from.
Oh, God.
If it was invented in Alabama, it would have been called the teeth brush. I've got all 32 of mine.
Good for you.
Yeah, I'm pretty proud of it.
Mm-hmm. You haven't had an implant yet.
Hey, how do you not know about Playboy Cardi, but you know about the Tijuana brass jackoffs?
Stop. You're going to go to hell for this one.
All right, let me look up Tijuana brass jackoffs.
No, you just watch.
Oh, hey, it popped up. Happy birthday, Herb Alpert. So there you go.
90 years old.
Oh, man, he's got his toot whistle up here.
Yeah. He's great. Did you ever hear the T-Berry Shuffle?
I didn't know what you're saying. Wait, what is the name of it called?
What?
What are you saying? The what shuffle? I'm trying to find this.
T-Berry Shuffle. I don't know what the real name of the song was, but they T-Berry Gum used it in its commercials.
I guess he did. Did he do something with Casino Royale?
Yes, he did the theme song for it.
Oh, South of the Border. I may know this one.
He was tremendous.
That's some silver shit. I'm out. Didn't hear any 808s or.
No, play the Casino Royale theme. Play that one.
I don't think we can play it.
I don't think we can either.
Man.
Coach Rosie doesn't like it, which tells you that it's good stuff.
Hey, you know what? I do want to get your take on something for real.
What's that?
I know you don't watch baseball. You hate baseball. Yeah. We get it. You hate everything. You see the new bat the Yankees are sporting?
Yes, I did.
Do you have an opinion?
Yeah, I think I have a feeling this is either going to completely change the game and completely change bat makers, or MLB is going to step in and say you can't use it.
It's got to be one or the other, right?
Yeah, right. Because the other night they hit 9 home runs in a 20-9 win over the Brewers, and they hit home runs on the first 3 pitches of the game. Then they hit 4 the next night. I don't know. I haven't checked the scores tonight, but yeah, that is it's kind of rigging the system, don't you think? And then again,
I was kind of surprised it was allowed.
Yeah.
But if you're not keeping up with this, I just want to give you some perspective. This past Saturday, the Yankees won. They scored 20 runs in a single game.
Right, 20-9.
And then on Sunday, it was 12-3. I mean, it's bananas. I mean, 20 in a baseball game is bananas.
Right. Yeah. Put up Jason Taylor's comment there about, I think they'll keep the bat, Dave. And I'll tell you,
MLB are whores for home runs. 1998 proved that. There's no arguing that. Like,
no arguing that at all.
And
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's talking about Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire.
Right.
By the way, they kept that momentum going with Barry Bonds.
Right.
So if this is back, and listen, we've all heard that baseball was down. Maybe baseball will be back. We'll
I
see.
don't know. I don't know. It's to me, it's kind of like what has happened with the NBA and the 3-pointer. I mean, it's all 3-pointers now, and it's kind of. I think it's. I don't know. I think it's ruined the game. But there you go.
Bad Money Slim, I guess, has penis issues or something. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about how the bat changes, and now he's talking about how is this a problem, but every field is a completely different size. Read that again. Of course, he's talking about Johners
Mm-hmm.
and saying, you can't say my wiener's small.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my wiener small. You got a big old Johnner.
Yeah.
You ever run across a big old Johnner? Or, as Larry David would say, big vagina.
No.
Big vagina. You've never seen that?
No, I never saw that one.
My buddy, well, I shouldn't say his name, but he's about to get engaged.
Okay.
And his last name rhymes with Rotten Crotch.
Okay.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I know that. By the way, there's a match going on as we're watching here. And
Paul
then
Orndorff is choking Sting with his dead arm. Speaking of dead, the referee's dead.
yeah. So
So is
2
Paul.
hours, 12 minutes, 17, 18, 19, 20 seconds is where we are. And right now, Paul Orndorff is kicking a mud hole in Sting in the corner. Well, you know, we got some real degenerates who join us live each and every Monday night when we take.
I blame you, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're not here for me. I was reminded at the top of the show, I'm on the box on the left. So,
yes. Right.
yeah. So
Yes.
on YouTube, you're on the
Right.
box on the left. I'm on the piddly box on the right.
Yeah.
It's not me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? All those guys are digging the piddly box.
With their new bats. I hope they don't shoot any toot skeet.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Right now, I'd like to just tell everybody, you can get 80% off my. We got to get her to make an appearance when we do our Magic City watch along.
Yeah, we do. Oh,
By
I'm
the
not
way-
doing that. I'm not doing a Magic City watch along.
Well, I'm just telling you, we're doing it in Atlanta.
We're
So-
not. I'm not. I'm not going to associate myself with the strip club, Conrad.
You just said all the ones you've been to. So how
Well,
can
I've been to them, but yes, but I'm not going to.
You know what? We don't need you. Everybody wants a picture with Eric Bischoff in a strip club anyway. I'll convince him to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure he will be more than glad to do it.
And we'll bring Big Mark in, and we'll bring Beetlejuice in.
Jeez.
All the stars, really.
Why don't you bring in Jeff Jarrett too, just in case?
He ain't coming. We could get Whitney Wright.
Okay, now.
Wait a minute. DJ Turnup knows about Gold Rush. Oh wait, maybe that's a strip club over there. I thought he meant like the
I'm
remote.
sure that is. Yeah, I'm sure that's what he DJs. Yeah. There are a lot of rest holds in this match, aren't there?
Yeah, it's not really a good match, bud.
No, it's not.
I mean, listen, the best match on the show, and it ain't close, is Vader and Cactus Jack.
Yeah. You're right. And they're only like 2.5 minutes away from the finish of this one. So they got to get it in high gear right now. And of course, the referee in the camera's way. So now they get to their feet. They've got their spots set. Oh.
Yeah, listen, I love me some Paul Orndorff, but I don't know that this was. I would have probably tried to close with Davey Boy doing something. Maybe Davey Boy and Sting in a tag match against Paul Orndorff and Vinny Vegas.
You know, back in the early days of WCW when I first came back, they had like Jody Hamilton and I think maybe Kevin Sullivan, maybe Grizzly Smith. They had them book the house shows and they would send them in for approval.
I can't believe this is real, but every now and again we do real things here on the podcast. We've got a big range. If we were actors, that's a lot of range.
Yeah.
Bobby wants to know, can I get my credit score above 850 or is that the ceiling? Well, let me tell you, there's a couple of different scores that you want to look for. And if you're doing some of the Vantage score stuff, they'll give you a bogus, not real score that any third party is going to use. You want to use like My FICO.
Right.
And if you're using that, then you can get all three scores, but they'll even let you drill in and see, like, here's your credit card score. Here's your auto loan score. Here's your housing score. So there's lots of different versions of these, but to answer your question respectfully, you don't need anything above a 750. 750 is about as good as it gets. If you have an 8, you're going to get A1, the best of everything. So if you're 780, 790, 800, or 848 or 850, it makes no difference. You're getting the absolute best of everything, which is more than we can say for this match. But it is over.
Yes, Sting rolled him up
and immediately rolls out of the ring like, I'm out of here. The ref has to chase him down to hand him the belt. And mercifully, it's over.
I like the finish. I really did. I thought they got really slow to get to it, but I like the roll up by Sting very quickly. Walks out with the belt.
Yes.
Yeah. Well done.
We've had a lot of fun watching this old school wrestling today from 1993. I, for one, don't think this was the best WCW show I've ever seen, but I'm very thankful and appreciative that something that never saw the light of day, WWE found a way to release. Maybe it wasn't polished enough to present behind a paywall, but it was worthy of a YouTube upload. And we hope that we've been worthy of your time. I've had a lot of fun talking about a lot of silly shit here tonight, but no fooling. This weekend is going to be a monster pay-per-view, Dynasty. If you haven't been watching AEW recently, if you've tried it before and you're just not able to catch it on a weekly basis, I want to challenge you this Sunday to plop down your $50 and watch AEW make their pay-per-view debut in Philadelphia. Or better yet, if you can make it, go right now to AEWTIX.com. This is going to be a show that people are going to talk about for a long time. I have no insight. I have no inside information. I just know the love and affection that Tony Khan has for Philadelphia and those wrestling fans. And this card that's laid out, it's got something for everybody. This is going to be, as Bad Bunny says, can't miss. So check it out. I'll be doing it. Tony, I know you'll be there live, but right now it looks like it's about that time.
And ladies and gentlemen, just like Coach Rosie's taste in music, just like James O'Corey's waistline, just like Dave Silva's intelligence, and just like DJ Turnup's taste in music, we are desperately out of time. We'll see you next week on What Happened When, and don't forget, each and every Monday we come to you exclusively on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson here to tell you a little more about what adfreeshows.com is all about. Get early, ad-free access to more than a dozen of your favorite wrestling podcasts every single week, starting at just $9. That's less than 20 cents an episode each month. And yes, you can listen to them all directly through Apple Podcasts or your regular podcast apps. How easy is that? Ad-free Shows also has thousands of hours worth of bonus content and docuseries like Title Chase, Eric Fires Back, Conversations with Conrad, and The Insiders. Plus new series like The Book with David Crockett, Monday Mailbags with Mike Chioda and Nick Patrick, and a whole lot more. And you want to talk about early? You can't get any earlier than listening to the shows live. You can be a part of the live studio audience as we record the podcast. Plus, ride shotgun alongside your favorite childhood heroes for live watch-alongs, Q&As, and other interactive experiences every single month. Come on now, see for yourself what thousands of other wrestling fans from around the world have discovered, that adfreeshows.com is the best value in wrestling. Check it out today, and hey, when you do, the first week is completely free. adfreeshows.com.